You're reading that correctly. You're reading that correctly. Um, just anything, any and everything to keep people from talking about the Epstein files. Joke's on him. The Epstein estate released a whole bunch of stuff today. But let's get into this, shall we? President Donald Trump announced Friday that he has ordered the declassification and public release of all government records about aviator Amelia Earhart, noting that her disappearance in 1937 as she attempted to fly around the world has captivated millions. So has the Epstein Maxwell files. Just saying. Trump called her fate an interesting story and said people have been asking about declassifying and making public everything the government has on her. Where? Who asked? Come to the front. Who asked? Because then we just get some new information regarding her. Like, what could possibly be classified that we don't already know? Like, this is the biggest open secret, one of the biggest open secrets in history. Like, okay, all right. Trump returned to office earlier this year, promising to declassify and release government records on several high-profile figures, though Earhart was not among the names mentioned. Not till now, because he needs to backtrack up off of promising to release the Epstein Maxwell files, forgetting that him and all of his bosom buddies and a lot of people in his current cabinet and a lot of his advisors are in those files. Are you know. The Republican president's administration since has released thousands of pages of records about President John F. Kennedy, which was a big nothing burger. That was a lot of time out of my life. I cannot get back. And it did not make the FBI nor the CIA look good. At all. At all. And FBI, if ever was a time in your history for you to beef with a president, it would be now. It would be now. Beefing with JFK was pointless. Like, I see why JFK has some trust issues with y'all. But if you're going to beef with a president and, like, investigate a president, this would be the time. I'm just saying, this would be the time. Like, if you want history to look at you favorably, for you to, like, turn over the reputation of the FBI, this is your moment. Okay? This is your moment. His brother, Robert F. Kennedy, well, it didn't help us understand RFK's son at all. It didn't. It didn't. Maybe y'all released the wrong files on RFK because it didn't help us translate Sir Brainword, like, at all. And the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. All were assassinated during the 1960s, and the files revealed no blockbuster information at all. But, he thinks that we're as simple as him. Both the FBI and the National Archives and Records Administration already have released batches of documents about Earhart. Like I told you, what is there left to know? Some who have doggedly researched her disappearance nearly 90 years ago doubt there is much more the government has on her that it can release. Earhart was an aviation pioneer and first woman to pilot a solo flight across the Atlantic Ocean. She disappeared in the South Pacific while trying to become the first woman to circumnavigate the globe. Amelia made it almost 3/4 around the world before she suddenly and without notice vanished, never to be seen again. Trump wrote on his social media site, you know that place where truth goes to die? Her disappearance almost 90 years ago has captivated millions. I'm ordering my administration to declassify and release all government records related to Amelia Earhart, her final trip, and everything else about her. Wasn't nobody on the plane with her that made it back to tell the story. There's nothing more for you. You know what? You'll do anything to avoid it. I'm just saying. Over in France, they about to perp walk somebody, a politician, high ranking, for crimes. We could do that over here. We could do that. We could do that. Even if you don't want to release all the files, start prosecuting. And lower court, you don't have to wait for the DOJ. I'm just saying. And former DOJ attorneys, you could prove a point. You could prove a point why you were chosen to be the the people's litigators. Just, like, this is your moment. This is your moment. Okay, this is your moment. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Earhart and her navigator, Fred Noonan, vanished while flying from New Guinea to Howland Island as part of her attempt to become the first female pilot to fly around the world. She had radioed that she was running low on fuel. The Navy searched but found no trace. The U.S. government's official position has been that Earhart and Noonan went down with their plane. She was declared legally dead in 1939. Since then, theories have abounded, with some veering into the absurd, including abduction by aliens. Y'all think aliens coming to take everybody. Earth is ghetto as hell. Ain't nobody coming to take us. Or Earhart living in New Jersey under an alias. Y'all always think that somebody just did the most to move to another country or another state to live a mundane life. Ain't nobody clamoring for that much notoriety and to live out their passion, to just up and give up their passion and become a PTO mom. Ain't nobody got time for that. Others speculate she and Noonan were executed by the Japanese or died as castaways on an island. Y'all into conspiracy theories. Rick Gillespie, executive director of the International Group of Historic Aircraft Recovery, who has studied Earhart for decades, doubted that much more information on the famed aviator remains to be released. He cited the document dumps by the FBI and National Archives. There's nothing still classified by the U.S. government on Amelia Earhart, Gillespie said in a telephone interview. Yeah, Trump just recently heard about the story and thinks that this is going to be a great distraction because this man was so impressed by the word groceries that he kept talking about it for months. But Mindy Love Pendergraft, executive director of the Amelia Earhart Hangar Museum, said in an email that Trump's action is sure to pique the interest of those dedicated to uncovering the mystery of Earhart's disappearance. No, it's not. If these records shed any light on Earhart's fate, it is a welcome action for Earhart historians and enthusiasts. She said, girl, how much is Trump paying you, or did he just promise not to grab you by the undercarriage? Anywho, like I said, those let go from the DOJ, here's your time to shine. You saw who was at the Capitol. Make some phone calls to their attorneys. Let's get them moving. Let's get these dockets cracking. But as always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section.